And for the final topic of episode 90, we have our top 5 kids games that adults will enjoy as well. Preferably, we've played these games. I don't know. Y'all just finding games on Board Game Geek. Oh, yeah,
No.
I think I like that game.
Played a lot of kids games.
Yep. Now, I did this. I forgot to tell you all, if you wanted to do this, I put the age range or the on my games too. You know,
I did not.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll be the unique one.
Okay.
So, Matt, you were gone. Leslie, let's start with you. Number 5.
My number 5. I went with Loop and Chewy.
Loop and Chewy.
It's I would like to. Well, we've sat around and played it. I had fun doing that.
And now that I have a 3D printer, Eric,
yeah,
I can print the extensions. Did you know about that?
Yeah. You've been waiting on Eric to do it for a long time. He hasn't done it.
I'm gonna make it 6 players.
So I mean, there's not a lot to say about the game. It's more of a dexterity, goofy game. But I mean, kids have fun with it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty neat. So
yeah,
I threw it on here.
Loop and Chew and Loop and Louie. It is one of my games. It's just it's
is it on your
operated.
list?
It is.
Okay.
It's number 4. We'll get back to that.
I feel like I made my top 5 kids games that are dexterity based.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you have this thing that goes around and around, battery operated, like I said, and when it goes to you, you don't want it to hit one of your coins and knock it off. So you time it just right. yeah, slap your little thing and you pop it up and you want that's usually an airplane or a spaceship to knock other people's coins off.
And Louie, it's a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Is it chickens?
Yeah, and
It
Louie.
is. Yeah.
Nah.
And Chewy, they're
I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
Spaceships?
stormtroopers.
well X-wings, I think. I don't remember
Oh,
what
the
they
coins. The coins I think are
Oh, the troopers.
stormtroopers.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
are. Oh, well, it's been a while since I actually looked at that. I just know it's like a big Chewbacca
Yeah.
flying around. All right, my number 5 is Flower Fall. This is for 6+. And Flower Fall is basically a deck of cards that have like,
Wow, they consider that a children's game?
no, I don't know.
Tim
It says 6+.
does.
Wow. Okay.
I see all kinds of. I guess maybe it's the cusp of like a family game.
Yeah, I know, but that's a crazy age range. But okay.
6+. Well, I mean, I've played it with a lot of kids too. That's
Really?
the only reason I consider it
Oh.
a kids game.
Kids can drop stuff.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, the idea is
They're
you
real
want to
good at
drop
it.
it, and they're not as great at it, but just dropping cards on the ground and trying to make fields of
Well, they're closer
flowers.
to the ground, so
Yeah.
maybe it's an advantage.
Oh, that's true.
Absolutely.
They got handicap privileges.
Yeah.
That's true. So I don't know. I added it on here. I could probably swap it out.
I was just surprised by the age range. That's all I was saying.
It does. It's 6+, and
Okay.
that's.
I believe you.
I would probably consider this maybe more of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, no,
type
that's
of
what
game.
the 6 just blew my mind.
Yeah, but I did play it with some younger kids. Maybe like the 5 and 6 and 7 range, and they did fine. I mean, they scored well too. So whatever.
I mean, I guess a 3-year-old could play it. I mean,
Well, I mean, at least the ones I played it with, they understood it.
Yeah,
what they were
that's what I'm
trying to
saying,
do.
yeah.
Just make big flower patches and try to
Yeah.
get points. So
Cool. Number 5 for me is Spot It. It's a pattern matching game. There's a couple of different ways that you can play it in the box, but basically what you're trying to do is you have this round card, and it's going to have quite a few symbols on it. You have a card in the middle, I guess, that has quite a few symbols on it, but everybody's card is going to have one match, and then you're going to try to be the first person to match that symbol with your card with the card that's in the center. Keep on doing that. And like I said,
you got to yell it as loud as possible and slap your
and
table
get it first.
like whack snowman.
But I always enjoyed playing it, so
I do
played
too.
it with the kids.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
There's like 8 ways to play it in the box. Yeah.
Yep.
mhm.
And there's like 30,000 licensed versions of
Yes.
it. now.
Yeah. Tremendous.
Which helps a
whatever
lot,
floats
too.
your boat.
Yeah.
So this list was so hard for me to come up with.
Really?
I could have made like 10 of these lists, and one would be dexterity. And
Oh,
one would
okay.
be
I was gonna
hard
say because
games.
you suggested the list. I thought you were gonna say it's hard for.
I suggested it a long time ago without really thinking about it first.
Oh.
For somebody who doesn't have kids, I have a ton of kids games. So that tells you how much I like kids games.
Yeah.
But I tried to just pick a few things that I haven't talked about on here before. So
Right.
my number 5 is a game called Stomple. And Stomple is a game that has a grid of spots for marbles to sit on. So you pour out a bag of marbles onto the top of it, and then it's a foam grid so that you have these other pieces that are wooden. And on the top of the wooden piece, there's the color of the marble that is your color. And you start the game by stomping it down on the board, and you stomp the marble of that color down into the bottom. And then when you move, you have to go onto your own color marble, stomping around the board.
This sounds awesome already.
Or not to your own color, sorry, not onto your own color marble, but you choose a color of marble that's next to you. And then every marble that's in a line, it could be orthogonal or diagonal, you just go around stomping them until you run out and you can't go any further because that particular color in that particular path is done. But you play and you're cutting off all of the ways that other people can go. And if you can't make a move, you're out. So it's mean, it's fun, it's stomping marbles around. It's great.
That's awesome.
Stomple.
My number 4 is what Eric said. It's Spot It. So slam cards on the table.
Switch it around.
Yeah. So
great choice.
Yeah, it's a good game. I always enjoyed playing it with the kids, and it's fun playing with adults too. Yeah. So
Flowerfall is fun too, but
yeah.
Okay, fine. I can swap it out with my honorable mention.
Oh, good.
My number 4 is Sorry Sliders. And this can be the base Sorry Sliders or even the Cars version, which is a lot different.
It is.
Because it's like a racetrack. But we'll talk about the base Sorry Sliders. It's essentially Kids Crokinole shuffleboard hybrid. You got these sorry pieces that have a ball bearing on the bottom, and you slide them across the board and try to either get in a target area or some of the boards. There's like 4 different boards for scoring. You can get it into the middle hole, which is like very Crokinole, and score points. And you can knock each other around. And the whole point is, as you score points, you're moving up, just like in Sorry. You have another board off to the side with these little Sorry pieces, and they have to go home, and they have to land with an equal amount of, if you need to move 3, they have to move 3 to get on that spot to get to the last spot. So
yeah, I remember playing this one quite a few years back. We would we had more than one copy. We would make like a 10-foot long board.
Yep.
Yeah, had some good times.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
And that's without kids.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I've played this game with my niece and with my son. Other than that, I've never played it with any other kids. It's always been adults.
Yeah. So I'm going to change my number 4. I just actually thought of it. It's Haba. It's a Haba game. It's called Dragon's Breath, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Are you looking at my paper?
Oh, is it on your paper?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
He does own it though.
Oh, I don't own it. Tim.
No,
owns
Tim
it.
owns
Oh,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll talk about it later. Number 4.
All right. My number 4 is Chroma Cubes. This is a game where you have dice that are in various colors on the faces of them. And usually they have 2 colors on each face. And so you roll the dice and it lets you choose one of those colors of crayons and you color in part of your picture. The pictures have indications of what colors can be where. And they also have sections. And if you fill in a section first, you get a certain number of points. If you're second, you get a lesser number, etc. So you want to fill in sections, but at the same time, you want to leave yourself options, because if you aren't able to use any of your choices, you're out.
Oh, man.
And you can trade dice during the game to give yourself more of a chance of getting green, for example, and you trade with another player or something. It's very clever. It's one of the original roll and writes. It was 2014, so a little bit after roll and writes started to become a thing. But coloring, even for adults in this fashion, is so much fun.
Awesome.
Sounds cool.
Chroma Cubes.
My number 3 is a game called Battle Sheep. It is by Blue Orange. So it's kind of like reverse, hey, that's my fish, I guess. So you got like these weird, you can set the board up however you want. I think it's a bunch of hexagons, but they're like in weird patterns, and you make this weird looking board, and you can have holes and stuff in it. But you essentially stack with, and the components on this game are phenomenal. It's like poker chips, essentially. They're real chunky, like, they're plastic, but
when the move is like chunk.
It's
Nice colors.
And essentially you start with one big stack. You're moving in straight lines, but you have to decide how much of your stock you want to move for future moves. You're essentially trying to close each other off with, and once you get to where you don't have any moves, you lose. So it's a nice little game, and it can be pretty strategic when you play it. So
Yeah.
Battle Sheep.
Oh, it's fun.
I've only actually played this a couple of times, and I think they were both at a convention.
Really?
I never actually played it in a real environment. So not a real environment. I never played it outside of like just playing it on the demo table.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
My number 3 is Bling Bling Gemstone. If you're a fan of Ginga, this is absolutely a blast because it's kind of like a Ginga type of game. You have a tower that's like ore, like mining ore, and it is you take these core pieces, which are like just circular discs almost, and then you put all these facades on them, which are like gems, and you make this big tower of gems, and then you get this big mining pick, and then on your turn you get to whack it twice, and hopefully it will move pieces enough to where the facades fall off the end, and you get to collect those. But if a core piece ever falls off, you collect it as well, but they're negative 10 points, where everything else is 1, 2, or 3 points. And it has a cool variant. Like if you're playing 3 players, you can each pick a color, and you have to go after only your color. And it's just really simple. I mean, you put it on the table and kids just hit it.
Yes.
It's so much fun.
Really great.
Yeah. And I like Talk Talk Woodman, which is the original version of this,
Yeah.
but I like Jim Blingstone a lot. Bling Bling Gemstone a lot more.
Something that TikTok Woodman or Click Clack Lumberjack did is they have stickers that you can put on the inside of the bark of the trees that you're knocking around.
The worms or whatever?
Yeah. So does the gemstone one have anything like that?
Well, it doesn't, but
You could do it. You
but
could
it
just get
has
some stickers.
in those games, all of it is just tree bark. And so that's a way to differentiate the ones. But
Okay. They're different colors for the gemstones.
Right, there's 3
Already.
different colors. Yeah.
And you could still get stickers. Why not?
You could, yeah. Well, they are transparent. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's why.
Yeah.
I guess if you put it on the inside of the thing, like you couldn't see what it is. I mean, maybe it was a sticker.
Right. Just get 2 kinds of stickers, one larger than the other, and put one kind on the inside of everything, and then the smaller sticker inside of it, so that it's differentiated, but you can't tell from the outside.
That's true.
We'll make it into a gamer's game. We'll just
Right. Set
add
collection and all this other stuff.
special powers.
It's a newer, better game of, I forgot what it's called right now, but that ice rink game where you're hitting the pieces of ice and you
Don't
don't
break
want
the ice.
That's it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go back to number 4 since it's been taken twice. And I wasn't prepared for it, but I just remembered as well. There's a game called Splat. And it's by like Milton Bradley, I believe. Yeah, it's an older game.
This was your honorable mention on our top 10 list, I think, that we did on the Dice Tower.
Yeah, there you
Really?
go.
Yep.
So if you haven't played it, you make these bugs out of Play-Doh,
Yeah.
and you have these pieces that you go around, and you have this hand that you want to go around and smash your opponents. So fun times.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the card game Splat.
Oh no,
There's also a card game
It's
Splat.
a board game Splat. Yeah.
Also with bugs.
Oh, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
That's what bugs do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your actual number 3?
Number 3 for me is
Eric's like, here's my number 4.
yeah,
Here's my second choice for number 4.
here's my third choice for number 4. It's Labyrinth by it's a Ravensburger game.
Mm-hmm.
So in this game, you have different things that you're gonna try to go for in this labyrinth maze, and you are taking out a piece of the maze, and you are inserting it somewhere else. And it moves around the whole board, and you're trying to get your player piece to a specific item, and then back to your color to turn it in. But always had fun playing it.
Yeah, I like Labyrinth.
There's a master labyrinth as well that adds a little bit more rules, and
There's also the
Gameplay.
electronic Labyrinth.
we play that as well.
I have it, but I haven't
do.
played it.
Yeah. Master Labyrinth, probably the best out of the bunch there.
Sweet.
Nice. All right. My number 3, let me ask, I thought you guys might have picked this one as well. Dr. Eureka.
I
haven't
forgot
played
about
it.
that.
All right. Well, I'll just go with
Yeah,
that
I've got that. The beakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have
This is awesome.
it's so good. You have these beakers with different colored marbles inside, and you have a card that you flip out, and you have to match that card with the arrangement of your beakers and marbles. And so then you have to pour one test tube into the other back and forth. You're holding, 2 test tubes in your hand. You have to get the marbles in the right configuration. I think you have 2 or 3, however many you have. I don't
You
know.
have 3.
Okay. So yeah, you're fumbling around with all these things. If you drop them, then you've had a lab experiment failure.
Explosion.
Yeah, explosion, and you're out. And there, so then when you finally get it and you win the card because you were the first one to get it, then you just stay wherever you were. Everyone just stays wherever they finished up, and the next card is flipped out. So people will be at varying distances from getting that configuration. So there's kind of a
luck.
There's a bit of luck. There's definitely a bit of luck in the game, yeah.
But if you're speedy,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so much fun just
you're
try to work it out.
because you look at it, and the other thing is, I think you don't even have to have them. I think there's a rule in it that you can have them upside down too. I don't think they have
Yes.
to be.
Oh, you can just slam it down on the table upside down, and if it's the right order,
Yeah,
because yeah.
Yeah.
Special lab equipment, whatever. It's all right.
I got my thumb.
Yeah, I have 2 copies of the game, and one of the copies I took white out and made white spots on the colors of the marbles, and then put those in with the other game so that you can't have marbles with white spots touching each other or they blow up. It makes it way harder.
Did you think of this variant, or was this on?
No, I just made this up.
Nice.
It's nice.
Number
You're doing number 2.
it's funny. I think I've changed my list like 3 times while we've been sitting here talking. Eric brought up Ravensburger, and it popped this game. So Bugs in the Kitchen. I put that as my number 2 because I remember that because that is a Ravensburger game. So yeah, you got this little. They were called like nanobots
Or hex bugs or
Hex
Yeah.
bugs. Yeah.
or hex bugs. Is that what it was? Yeah.
I just played this game Saturday.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's you just got a board with all these like swinging like spoons, knives, and forks and stuff, and you're just pretty much trying to redirect the bug to go into. Do you want it in your hole, or do you want it in
your corner?
Your corner of the
It's
board.
your
Yeah.
corner? Okay, that's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. So it's you take turns flipping the little knobs and everything, and you're trying to redirect this little bug that's just kind of skittering around and trying to find its way, and anywhere it can go, it goes to. So it's a good time.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, it's such a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I actually found a copy at Goodwill for like $3, and it was perfect.
What?
Wow.
Oh yeah, so good, so
Nice.
good.
I got mine when the Toys R Us
Toys R Us
was going out. Yeah.
Yep. My number 2 is Dragon's Breath, Eric. So we can talk about it now.
Oh, yay.
Dragon's Breath is kind of like watching those machines that you put a bunch of tokens in, and it's like it's trying to push the tokens around and fall into holes and stuff.
Coin pusher?
Yeah. I guess that's a pretty obvious name
Yeah.
for it, but basically there's a ring of plastic circles which look like shower rings for some reason,
Yeah.
but they're blue, and they make a column, and you fill it up with all those like standard gems that you would get in every board game now. And there's like 5 different colors or 4 different colors, and in turn order you get to draft these tokens that match the color. So maybe I'm thinking, oh, I think a lot of blues are going to fall out, so I'll take the blue. And Eric's like, I'll take the orange because I think orange is. And then whoever's turn it is actually going to take the first ring. Have you played this, George?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so good.
You take the first ring, and you can kind of jostle it a little bit, to try to stop things from falling. But essentially, you're pulling it straight up, or kind of
No, you
off
can
the
actually
side.
use your finger to like move
Yeah, like
around
push
the
them in and
gems.
stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're going to lift this ring up, and then some of the gems are going to spill out because obviously they're taller than the tower now. And there's holes on the board that they'll fall through, and like the daddy dragon gets those. No one else gets those. Anyway, whatever color that you chose in the draft, you actually get to collect all those gems and put in front of you. Or you put them in your little hole of the board, because the board's got an insert that you put on top, and then it's kind of hollow in the middle. And then you play the game, I don't know, 5, maybe once per player, I think it was. And then whoever has...
I thought you did the whole stack. And then...
yeah, maybe it is the
you
whole
did
stack.
the whole stack, and then there's like a little column or something in the middle. Anything that falls off that at the end,
Yeah.
there's a chance that quite a few will be left over.
Yeah, I think the stack might be based on the player count, though. Anyway, and then at the end, you just count up how many gems you have. The only thing I wish that they would add is maybe some kind of minor set collection. If you get... Whoever has the most blues gets bonus points, or whoever gets... If you got one of each color, you get like some extra bonus points. They could add a little bit more of an advanced scoring.
Yeah, you could easily add that.
Oh yeah, which would make it a little bit more gamery. But even without it, it's still so fun.
Yeah.
Good choice,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Ischool. It's a penguin flicking game. Everybody takes turns being a hall monitor, and you are trying to flick your wobbly penguin around and go through certain doors that will let you capture these fish. And then, like I said, one is a hall monitor, and they're trying to bump into you, and they're trying to bump into each player before one player captures all their fish. I think there's 3 fish on the board.
Yeah, and you can flick your penguin in such a way that it jumps over the walls.
Yes,
That's expert mode.
that's how you play it.
People could get so good at this game. It's ridiculous.
You can do it like a come hither or something and make it.
Who was it? Was it me and you? Who stayed at my house and we played this game 1,000 times, but we didn't use any of the boxes. Was it me and you?
We did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here, and we did all kinds of different variants.
We just took my entire table and we put like a board on the left and the board on the right, and we just flicked around and like open table. And we just put like books and made.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we
did
played the
all
whole
kinds of
table.
stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We even made like little spots, like so when you flick and you like,
If you ended up in that spot, you get points.
right, stuff like that.
I like it.
Yeah, we did all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's very cool.
It's a good game. And then they came out with Ice Cold 2, and I'm like, same game.
Yeah, it just adds more boxes.
Yeah.
But you guys just add more books and tables, so it's fine.
Right.
Cool. Okay, my number 2 is Galipeau, which is a wooden game. There's wooden horses in the game that go on a racing track, and you move them on the track by playing cards that have numbers 1 through 6. The trick is everyone has the cards 1 through 6, and so you can kind of count people's cards and know what they're going to play, but you play them out, and the horse that's in the last place gets, or no, the horse who plays the smallest number goes first. So, and then back to front. So if you tie with someone, back to front, which means you're incentivized to play low cards and not go very far, because you want to go first. And the reason for that is if you land on somebody else's horse, then you knock them back. And if you land on a jump, there's these jumps in the game, then you have to go all the way to be the last horse. So there's crazy things happening as people get bumped around. And then, you thought you were fine going with a 3, but then this guy behind you moved 2 and bumped you back 1, and now your 3 lands on a jump, and that puts you at the whole back of the thing, and then you move up 3 and bump somebody else back 1. It's crazy. It's great fun. Kids can if you can count to 6, you can play. And for adults, it's fantastic.
Nice.
Sweet.
Honorable mentions.
I
went with 2 of them because my list has been evolving as we're sitting here doing it.
My list is valuable.
Yeah, so I put Animal upon Animal. I think most people know that game. Stack wooden animals. The other game I put on here though is a game called Doodle Quest. It's by Blue Orange. It's like an aquatic scenery, but the picture is put in the middle of the table, and everybody's given just like a screen that is blank, that's dry erase. And maybe there's like starfish that you're trying to like dive and touch on this picture. You have to take a marker and like just guess and draw lines and try and see if you can land on the starfish. And then you take your little transparent thing and lay it on the picture and see if you see how you did as far as like just gauging a good distance and everything, and see that's how you get your points. So,
and there's multiple versions of this, right? There's Doodle Quest and there's some other ones.
Looney Quest.
Looney Quest, yeah.
Oh, they're both so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great choice. Love that one.
Sweet. My honorable mention could probably be swapped with Flower Fall if we deem that an adult
I just
family
questioned
game.
the age. That's all I did.
This one is a little bit older. It's an 8+ game, and it's called Secret Code 13+4.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason it's an honorable mention, it's a really good game, but if you're playing it with just adults, it will get tiresome because it literally is just doing math.
That's
and
why
so
this was on my list and I took it off because I was like, I don't know how much adults would actually like. It's fun playing it with kids.
yes. Correct. Right. So it is really fun with kids, but if you don't play it with kids, then the enjoyment levels quickly goes downhill. But essentially, you got this. You're breaking into a museum, and you need to get to the crown jewel or whatever. But there's all these laser wires that you have to cross over without tripping. And the way you do this is you have a cluster of dice. I think it's like 6, and they're just they have different numbers on them, and you roll them. And you can move as far as you want on your turn, but what you have to do is each of these laser wires has a value, like 13. And so you have to mathematically spin your dice in order to cross over it. So how can I make 13? Well, maybe I can spin 5 times this 2, which will give me 10, and then plus this 3. So I spent 3 dice to jump over this laser wire. And so the idea is to come up with mathematical equations that usually only require 2 dice so that you can move over 3 things during your turn. So you can see how with adults it probably is like.
Then you get a calculus major or something like that. And they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
The square root.
Well, you'd only add, subtract, multiply, and divide. But
all right.
But you could make it so that you don't have to do that.
Oh yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you can add square roots. Square root of 5. I don't think it has one.
No,
Yes, it
everything
does.
has a square root, but it's going to be a decimal.
Correct.
Oh yeah, I got you. Right. Anyway, that's secret code 13 plus 4. It's a really good game.
And that rounds down, so
Yeah,
that's my number.
And that carry the 1.
Yeah. All right. For me, I got 2. I put them as my honorable mentions, mostly because I consider more of like a family game, and they're also abstract. So there's Blocus, which is you have these transparent Tetris pieces, and you're trying to put all your pieces onto the board. You can only touch a corner of any of your pieces, but you're trying to like dominate space, cut out a section, block your opponent. So it's a fun game.
It is a really fun game.
And
And
then-
I like the 2-player version of that. Ironically, since we talked
duo.
earlier about not playing these
2
games,
players.
there's like Blocus Travel or
Mhm,
Blocus
or
Duo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's marketed 2 different ways. That one is phenomenal.
There's a
It-
triangular one.
Oh, Trigon, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Second for me is Quirkle, which is another abstract game. It's 6 different colors, 6 different symbols, and you're trying to put out all your tiles, or you're trying to put out tiles, and you're trying to put them, stay in the same color but have all the symbols, or use all the same symbols on different colors, and you'll get like a point per tile that's out that you added to. You kind of want to do, going side to side and up and down as well. And if you complete a whole line, you get extra points. So it's another fun game that's abstract that a lot of kids have liked in the past.
Cool.
My number, what number?
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention is Cube Quest. It's a game where you have a stack of cubes on your side of a map, and then you have a king cube that's on there, and so does the other person. It's a 2-player game, and you're going to be launching these, flicking these at each other's fortresses to do damage, and you're trying to knock each other's king off the board ultimately. And you hit cubes, and they fall on certain faces, and certain things happen. Certain cubes have various powers. It's so much fun, just blasting cubes back and forth at each other.
That does sound fun. I like
Yeah.
dexterity games. I'm in. I thought I've seen this quite a bit and thought about buying it, but
Yeah, it's very simple. It's 2-player.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
that's fair. All right, drum roll, Matt.
Number 1.
Oh wait, Alexa, drum roll, please.
Okay.
So stupid.
Oh, wow. My number 1 is Spinderella. It's a fun little game. I think most people know what it is, but essentially you both players have ants, and they're trying to get them from point A to point B. But as you roll dice, you might get control of Peter or Parker to move the spiders around and
Is that really what they
That's
call
their
them?
names, yes.
That's fantastic. Did you know this?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right.
I forgot it, but yeah, it's right.
and so they're connected by a string, and depending on the way they're orientated, will raise and lower
Spinderella.
one of them in a certain way. Yeah, Spinderella. So yeah, it's a good time to always grab an ant and
Try to capture your opponents.
catch your opponent's ants and stuff. So it's a good time.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it's a really good game.
Great table presence.
Yes,
It's fantastic. It's like it's just huge.
Yeah.
it uses the box.
Yeah. Oh, to
Oh,
every
yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
It has like 2 layers and they're like 2 foot tall. My number 1 is Vampires of the Night. This game is basically, I guess this is more appropriate to the one where the coin pusher machine more than anything. You have this just like a Spinderella.
Oh, I remember it now.
Yeah. The game uses the box. Have you seen this, George?
No. Yes. With the I have, yeah.
Yeah, the vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you build the box and then you have basically like picture the box lid, but you put another piece on top of it that has a bunch of holes. And so you're trying to push these discs around and not let them fall into the holes. You want them to fall off the board, off the edge of the board, and you get to collect these. You're a vampire and you're basically you're pushing garlic out of your castle is really what the theme is. It's like
You're cleaning your castle.
Yeah, you're cleaning your castle. You don't want the garlic to fall in your basement. Is basically what it is. And what it is, the vampire is this big piece of wood in the middle that has a glowy head. The whole game glows in the dark, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's got a magnet, and you have this little stick, which is like a little bat, that has the reverse polarity. And so you don't ever touch the vampire. You're actually using reverse polarity to push it around the board to scoot these discs, and you got to scoot them around and not let them fall in the holes. It's such a awesome game.
It's really great.
It is so good. And I think MSRP it's $20. It is insane for the price.
Yeah.
And you can't light the tokens up with LEDs. Does not
really?
work. Remember we did that at your house?
I mean, we tried. I just thought, it didn't work very well or something.
It's just like a different. It doesn't give off any energy to do the glow in the dark stuff.
Interesting.
Did you say is it Playroom? Is that the company that makes that one?
It's not Playroom. It's actually a different company.
But they have a bunch. There's a whole line of these.
Yeah,
kind
they
of
came to
games.
Gen Con that one year, and I don't think they've been back since, though.
They've got like Magician's Kitchen.
Yeah.
The Magic Labyrinth. They've got some great ones.
Here, I'm pulling up right now. Not that anybody else that listened could just look it up later. Lion Rampant Imports. Oh, Playroom Entertainment. So maybe it is. Maybe it depends on where it's published or something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have some great games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 1 for me is Cranium Hunu. It's a card game much like say Apples to Apples, where every as the person getting cards, everybody is trying to give you cards from their hand. Everybody gives you one card, and they are going to determine what you like. So it's a game that my kids like to play a lot. And if you had Unicorn and you gave it to my daughter, you got first prize. But what they do is they get all the cards, shuffle them up, and then they order those cards and least favorite to most favorites, and then everybody gets points. But the least favorite is going to get 1 point. The second least favorite is going to get 2, 3, and so forth. And then everybody takes turns, getting cards. You're laying them out to how you like stuff and how you don't like stuff. So it's a good way to, even play with their friends and get to know each other a little bit better.
Cool.
Yeah. My number 1 is I went back and forth on this one a whole lot, but I'm going to go with like the silliest one. Actually, it's called Hula Hippos.
Hula Hippos.
You have all these little wooden hippos in your color, and you start with 5, and there's a giant wooden ring that you spin in the middle of the table. So you got this wooden ring that's spinning around, and as it slows down, it's gonna come closer and closer to the table as it spins around. And then you take your hippos and you flick them, and your goal is to get your hippo in the ring when it finally comes down onto the table.
That sounds awesome.
So you're smacking it against the ring to try to make it fall sooner. Maybe that's your goal, or maybe you're trying to flick it next to the ring so it falls on you, or you're trying to flick it and hit the other person's hippo out of the way, and you're doing that like at the last second, and so everyone's doing that at the same time. It is crazy, like chaotic, just like skill smacking these hippos around. And if you do get your hippos to end up in the ring, then they're going to be taken out and score for you. But now you have fewer hippos to mess with other people. And it's so funny. It's so good. It's that simple. That's all it is, and it's just even for adults hilarious.
That's awesome. Is that Echnia game a kid's game?
The Echidnas.
Yes.
I would say it's a kid's game. Yeah. It's what is it called? Oh man,
I don't remember.
Echidna Shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a kid's game for sure. Those little echidna pieces
Is
are
that pretty good?
Adorable.
I heard a lot of people talking up.
I didn't
Ah,
like it.
It's all right. I like it. It's not. It didn't make my list, but it could go on another sort of list, I suppose.
Mhm.
Cool.
But yeah, it's good.
Best
game.
pieces.
Definitely best components.
Right.
Well, cool. Anybody want to say any other honorable mentions while we're at it? Or?
No other ones popped in my head while we were saying.
Oh man, I could go on forever.
I've got at least 10 more, but some of these, like the only other one I debated on putting on here was Dancing Eggs.
Yeah, that's so good.
Have you played that?
No, I think is that the one where you put the stuff under your arm and got to run around and
you
everything?
roll a die
Yeah.
and put it on your arm. That was really fun. Although the only reason it didn't make my list is because I feel like you need more eggs. So I own 2 copies of it
Mhm.
because
Yeah, not enough eggs. Yeah.
there's only like 10 eggs or 12 or whatever whatever a dozen is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You want to add another one? Or are you done?
I mean, I could go, but it's fine. We'll make other lists later.
That's fair.
Yeah.